Next on Worcester News Tonight, Massachusetts House of Representatives passed legislation increasing the funding for schools in Worcester and across the state. Plus, almost empty shelves at a Worcester nonprofit's food pantry. Wyoming Sherry's House says they're in need of donations. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chandler Walsh. The Worcester's District 5 is the only contested district race this year. Tonight, the two candidates met in a debate. Incumbent Matt Wally is seeking his second term, while first-time candidate John Haynes Honeycutt is hoping to bring a fresh face to the council. Wally says he hopes to keep momentum in the district and the city moving forward, while Honeycutt says quality of life issues is what motivated him to run.
I think I've had a lot of positive impact on pedestrian safety. I think I've had a lot of positive impact on the growth of our parks, and I think I've had a lot of positive impact on constituent services. And if I'm fortunate enough to get a second term, I want to continue building on those three areas.
A lot of issues are taking place: roads, snow removal, things of that nature, residential tax rate. People are afraid of being pushed out of the city based on affordability due to all that's going on downtown.
The city's municipal election is November 5th, which is now less than 2 weeks away. The Massachusetts House of Representatives passes legislation which will significantly increase school funding in Worcester and the rest of the state. The Student Opportunity Act would be the biggest change to the state's education funding formula in more than 25 years. Our Cam JANDROW joins us in the studio now with more. Cam.
Chandler, state lawmakers say they're not only confident this bill will pass, but they're confident it's going to significantly improve the quality of education in the city and state. Supporters of this bill say this will provide students and teachers with the tools they need to succeed.
Local lawmakers celebrate the passing of the Student Opportunity Act. The House unanimously passed the bill Wednesday night. It includes more than $1.4 billion in funding for the state's public education system over the next 7 years.
It's $23 million a year in additional revenue for the city of Worcester itself, which is a huge amount of money. It's almost $160 million over the next 6 years.
The funding would help the districts with high numbers of students facing poverty, as well as cover more health care and special education costs. State Representative Mary Keefe says it would improve the everyday environment in city classrooms.
For cities like Worcester, we've been working in an environment of scarcity. You know, teachers spending their own money to bring supplies into the schools.
The legislation is being billed as a game changer and historic. The Student Opportunity Act also aims to close the achievement gap by providing more resources in and out of school.
And we're just very thrilled and grateful we're able to give our kids all the resources they need to thrive and grow in our economy.
So whether it be counselors, teachers in the Worcester Public Schools, and you're going to see a big difference. This is going to make a difference to the children's lives in the Worcester Public Schools.
Representative Keefe says she's been working on the bill for more than 2 years. The ultimate goal, she says, is equity for all students at all schools.
Education is the real mover out of poverty, and that's what we would like to see happen for more people.
Now the bill goes to conference committee to work out the rest of the details. Representative Keefe says she hopes to have the bill ready and signed by Governor Charlie Baker before the holiday break this year. In the studio tonight, I'm Cam JANDROW, Worcester News Tonight.
The age cutoff for juvenile charges could be raised to 20 in Massachusetts. State Representative Jim O'Day has filed a bill called Raise the Age. O'Day says the 18 to 20 age group is keeping the justice system busy. He says a high number of young people go to prison and the House of Corrections and then reoffend. He says being charged as an adult doesn't provide necessary education and rehabilitation services.
The human brain continues to develop until the age of 25 and 26, and so if we're able to do more teaching and educating and rehabilitating with these folks that are 18 and 19 years of age, we believe that that will help, shut down that pipeline.
O'Day says the legislation would improve the justice system for all ages and prevent repeat offenses. A touching tribute to the late Brian O'Connell tonight. The Burns Bridge was lit with the colors of the late school committee members' alma maters of Worcester Academy, Holy Cross, and Harvard Law School. O'Connell is credited with bringing crew to the Worcester Public Schools and donating his school committee salary to help fund the program. The boat named in his honor was in the water during the ceremony.
He will not only be missed as a school committee member, but just as a person. He touched so many lives and left such a legacy that I'm sure he had no idea how much he meant to so many people. And this is just a small part of it.
Current school committee members plan to file an item to restore the boat to its original condition and enlarge O'Connell's name on it. Dozens gather at St. John's Church in Worcester to remember the late Brian O'Connell. The longtime school committee member passed away last week at the age of 70. Elected officials and friends waited outside the church before O'Connell's funeral. His casket was brought inside the church as an honor guard and a bagpiper surrounded the procession. O'Connell was buried in St. Roch's Cemetery in Oxford. Health officials warn this flu season has started earlier and may be worse than previous years. Worcester's Health and Human Services Director says there have been major increases in the number of flu shots given in the Worcester Public Schools over the last 2 years. It's thanks to the city's flu campaign. Dr. Maddie Castile says getting as many people in the schools vaccinated will keep children and their families healthy.
The teachers went up from 78 teachers that were vaccinated to 780, and I just heard that they just finished getting vaccinated, and it also increased from the 780, so that was an incredible improvement. And we've been doing the same thing with the kids, and they doubled from what they had the previous year till now.
Dr. Castile also says senior citizens are able to get a high-dose version of the vaccine called Fluzone. There's a shortage of Fluzone, but Castile says the regular shot will protect seniors and recommends they get vaccinated either way. A Worcester boy has spent almost 2 months in a hospital room. The 6-year-old is in need of a heart transplant, and his parents say unfortunately without one, he may not be able to leave. Our Gretchen LaRosa has the story.
A 6-year-old boy from Worcester is waiting for a new heart to save his life.
Carlos is definitely a fighter. He's a very happy kid. Smiles every day.
Carlos Rolon has been fighting since before he came into the world. His mother says she knew 5 months into her pregnancy her son would need a lot of medical attention.
It was very scary because in the beginning we were told that he would have 5 surgeries by the age of 5. Carlos had 4 by the age of 2.
His condition is called unbalanced AV canal defect. It's an abnormality with one of the 4 chambers of the heart.
He's just now starting to understand what's going on, and he knows he needs a new heart. I'm not quite sure that he understands where it's coming from, but we have faith and we push through it.
At the end of August, Carlos suffered an infection and was admitted to Boston Children's Hospital, where he has been ever since. His mother says he can't come back home until he gets a new heart.
He definitely misses his brother and sister. He misses his friends, and he misses being in school. He's a very active kid.
Sheena Cossett says she wants other parents to consider organ donation.
This was definitely a life changer for me and opened my eyes to many things. The greatest gift you can ever give someone is the gift of life.
Since Carlos was admitted to the hospital, his status has changed. He is now at the top of the list. But because of his size, his donor would have to be another child's heart. His family is thanking everyone for their prayers and support. Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
A local nonprofit serves kids diagnosed with cancer. Why Me Sherry's House offers everything from counseling and group outings to food for families in need. But this year, they're noticing a shortage in food donations and are hoping people will step up to help. Our Valerie Bell has more.
Why Me and Sherry's House helps New England families cope with childhood cancer. One of their services is running a food pantry for Why Me families.
When their kids are diagnosed, they're back and forth to the hospital. There's a lot of travel time. There's time away from work, lost income. So every little bit helps.
As the holiday approaches, the need grows. But this year, Why Me supplies are dwindling and their pantry is almost empty.
Over the summer, people are busy, so we don't get as many donations over the summer. And that's why, come fall, our food pantry is lower. And this is the time of year where people really start to utilize those donations.
The donations help to alleviate the burden of having to pay for food, but they also can protect the children from catching an illness.
A lot of these families have immune-compromised children, and it avoids them having to go out to busy stores, especially during cold and flu season.
Currently, WYME is helping about 110 families in northeastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts who are affected by childhood cancer.
A third with children in active treatment, about a third with children that are in maintenance or off treatment, and another third are bereavement families who continue to stay involved with us.
WYME does not receive any state or federal funding. The organization relies solely on donations which go directly to the children and their families.
If someone was to stop by our house, Sherry's house, and drop off food, they'd see directly the families and their kids that they're helping.
In Worcester, Valerie Bell, Worcester News Tonight.